Not every hunt begins with action. Often it starts from a distance, when danger is near but not yet recognized. In nature, lions are usually the controllable predators, their strength, experience, and coordination giving them the upper hand in most confrontations. From calm waters and open grasslands to confined spaces, each encounter adapts to the circumstances. On the vast grasslands, lions move almost silently. Their massive 420-pound bodies don't slow them down, but rather provide the foundation for short, precise bursts of speed. Every movement is kept to a minimum, enough to approach undetected. The lion's power lies not in maintaining speed, but in its ability to concentrate all its energy into a single moment. It can reach nearly 35 miles per hour, but only for a few short seconds. This forces every action to be calculated in advance, from distance and approach direction to the timing of the decision. In nature, there is no room for waste. Lions don't hunt with haste, but with patience and control. When the right moment arrives, all their power is unleashed in silence, quick, concise, and decisive. In the wild, the leopard doesn't need to flaunt its strength with a top speed of 36 to 37 miles per hour. It survives by absolute silence. Its distinctive spotted coat is perfect camouflage, blending its body into the savanna jungle. The real difference lies in its three-dimensional ability to climb trees in seconds, pulling prey heavier than itself up high, away from any predators. But that calm didn't last. While the leopard was resting, the lions approached from behind without making a clear signal. The distance closed rapidly, and the attack was unexpected. The leopard reacted immediately upon realizing the danger, but there wasn't enough time to create a safe distance. The pride of lions quickly narrowed the space. A female moved to block the escape route, while the male held the center and controlled the surrounding area. With the escape routes restricted, the leopard was no longer able to climb to a safe position. The confrontation ended quickly. The leopard had no chance to leave the dangerous area. The events showed that the outcome doesn't depend on maximum strength or speed. The leopard only holds an advantage when it has enough time to react and space to move. In nature, the deciding factor isn't the strike itself, but the timing of the initial detection. Unlike other animals, the honey badger, despite its small size, almost never stops when faced with danger. Its reaction is always direct, not evasive when confronted with danger. Its small body belies its fearless instinct. It doesn't try to run, but maintains its position and reacts. When the lion spots its prey, it lowers its body, gradually closing the distance with the precision of a seasoned predator. But at that crucial moment, the honey badger is the one who takes the initiative to attack. The lion is forced to accelerate, trying to overpower its opponent, but cannot hold it back. The honey badger is not strong, but doesn't stop, forcing the lion to repeat its attempts and change its approach. Without a clear weakness, the effectiveness of the attack decreases and the pace of approach slows down. In nature, results depend not only on brute force, but also on the ability to learn and adapt through each trial. African wild dogs survive through an extremely tight pack discipline system. They move in unison, maintain flexible distances, and do not expose fixed weaknesses. Each individual does not act alone, but blends into the rhythm of the pack, a structure always ready to change to avoid being locked onto. That stability is broken the moment a lion spots them and approaches, lowering its body in the grass. But instead of maintaining formation, the pack of wild dogs actively disperses in a controlled manner, disrupting their own concentration to reduce risk. A barrage of barks erupts, interspersed with feigned attacks, creating constant pressure and blurring the target's path. The lion advances, but cannot lock onto any individual. If there is a cub, the lioness is forced to turn to protect it, and that very moment causes her to lose the initiative. The tension slowed, the distance was maintained, and the confrontation did not escalate to a decisive blow. Ultimately, both sides retreated without loss. The wild dogs didn't truly win, but they forced the lions to retreat. This was a tactic that avoided direct confrontation, instead diverting the opponent's clear objective, because when the lion switched from attack to defense, its power diminished immediately. Under the seemingly calm surface of the water, an attack can be accomplished in a single squeeze. A crocodile's jaws can generate a force exceeding 3,000 pounds per square inch, enough to shatter bone structure in a single constriction. It waits underwater, keeping its body almost motionless, leaving only a small portion above the surface. The lion approaches the water's edge to assess the distance. When the distance is short enough, the crocodile leaps from underwater and attempts to lock onto its target with a quick bite. If the situation occurs underwater, the crocodile has the advantage due to its biting force and ability to maintain position. When the situation shifts to land, the lion reacts quickly, moving nimbly and seeking to attack behind its armor to reduce risk. The situation changes with each movement. The crocodile maintains control and holds the advantage. On land, the lion overwhelms due to its reaction speed and ability to change direction. There is no fixed outcome, as each environment creates different conditions. The confrontation doesn't last long when both realize their limitations. Although previous evidence shows there is no absolute power. Crocodiles are strong in water, lions are strong on land. The difference lies not in overall strength, but in the right environment. In nature, the winner is the one who controls the right space and time. Hippopotamuses don't hunt, but they always make others wary. Most of the time, they lie still underwater, only their eyes and nose visible, appearing harmless. But that stillness hides explosive power. With a body weighing thousands of pounds, they lunge unexpectedly, giving their opponents no time to react. When attacking, their jaws close decisively, powerful enough to crush anything within reach. Instead of charging immediately, the lion stands at the edge of the bank, observing and moving around to create a pincer movement. The distance narrows slowly, without any sudden lunge. Every movement is aimed at waiting for the right moment. The hippopotamus remains calm, but gradually loses its space to move. When escape routes are controlled, the safe distance is no longer maintained. Pressure increases with each advance of the lion. Finally, the hippopotamus is forced to retreat and leave its original position. The events showed that the outcome didn't come from a single attack. The lion gained the advantage by controlling distance and maintaining pressure. The hippo lost its advantage when it no longer had space to defend itself. In nature, controlling position and timing determines the outcome. Cruel and intelligent, these two words perfectly describe the nature of hyenas. They hunt in packs, working in close coordination, with a bite force that can reach 1,100 pounds per square inch. This pressure is generated not only from strength, but also from numbers and a relentless approach. Their observational skills and adaptability help them maintain their advantage over time. When the distance is close enough, the hyena pack begins to encircle a lioness. They don't all charge at once, but move around the perimeter, taking turns closing in and then retreating. The sound is maintained continuously, keeping the pressure steady and reducing the lioness's concentration. The distance is narrowed step by step. The pressure gradually increases as the lioness is forced to hold her position. This state lasts until a male lion appears. Immediately, the hyena's approach ceases. They shift from applying pressure to retreating as the risk increases. Their numerical advantage is no longer sufficient to sustain the situation. The entire process demonstrates that organization and persistence can create initial dominance. However, the outcome still depends on timing and the level of risk. Hyenas maintain control by keeping the pressure in check, but retreat when conditions change. In nature, pack strength is only effective when sustained at the right time. Through numerous encounters, one rule has become clear. Strength is not a standalone trait, but depends on the timing, location, and the reaction of each species. A lion may have the advantage in one situation, but loses it when conditions change. No species is absolutely dominant. The winner is the one that maintains the advantage longer by controlling the distance and timing correctly. In the wild, confrontations erupt as species are forced to defend their territory or assert their dominance. Each combatant enters the conflict with its own weapons, from precise memory and keen sense of smell to calculated group coordination. These documented battles expose the decisive moments of attack and the delicate balance between dominance and retreat in nature. On the riverbank mudflats, rhinos rely on their keen sense of smell and hearing to track any movement around them. Although their eyesight isn't particularly strong, they can detect smells and sounds from a distance, allowing them to react promptly. This vigilance means any creature that approaches too closely is immediately identified. A hippo approaches within a short range, seemingly just to probe. The rhino turns, lowers its head, and thrusts its horns forward as a clear warning signal. The hippo opens its jaws in a show of menace, and the distance between the two bodies, weighing thousands of pounds, quickly narrows. As several more rhinos appear behind, the situation changes dramatically. The hippo pauses, observes for a few seconds, then slowly backs away from the contested area. The encounter ended without serious injury, underscores that in nature, recognizing when to retreat is an essential part of survival instinct. On the edge of a cold stream in North America, a standoff between two bears ended when one individual conceded defeat after establishing their dominance. Bears possess a superior sense of smell, capable of detecting scents from miles away, along with spatial memory that allows them to remember areas with salmon, berries, and familiar movement patterns. This territorial memory makes encounters between adult males almost inevitable. Initially, both stood a few paces apart, emitting low growls as a warning. They circled, observing each other's every move. When the distance narrowed enough, both suddenly lunged, their hundreds-pound bodies colliding in a powerful, relentless thrust. The struggle was brief but intense. Each tried to maintain balance and find a more advantageous position. After a few minutes of exhaustion, one began to slow down and retreat in small steps, avoiding further escalation of the conflict. Both eventually separated, and maintained a safe distance. There was no prolonged chase. In nature, many battles like this are aimed at establishing power rather than eliminating an opponent. Strength is displayed, but restraint is what helps maintain order and minimize risk. On the vast, dry savanna, elephants are known for their exceptional memory, able to recall the location of water sources dozens of miles away and identify individuals they've encountered years before. For adult males, memories of hierarchy and territory never fade. This very memory carries with it a history of accumulated competition. As the two male elephants approached, the air grew heavy. They raised their heads, spread their ears, and took slow but decisive steps. Suddenly, they charged at each other, their tusks clashing violently with a thunderous roar that shook the ground. The struggle dragged on in palpable tension. Each tried to maneuver its tusks to find a more advantageous angle, pouring thousands of pounds of weight onto its opponent. After minutes of exhaustion, the younger elephant began to retreat, its breathing becoming labored and its steps slowing. Finally, it turned and retreated from the disputed area, leaving the older elephant to hold its position. The fight ended without serious injuries. In nature, retreating at the right time is not a defeat, but a way to conserve strength for future competitions. On the open savanna, hyenas maintain an advantage thanks to their tight pack structure and organized coordination. Each individual understands their place in the hierarchy and reacts quickly to shared signals. This synchronicity forms the foundation for the intense confrontations that follow. When a lioness moves away from the pride, many hyenas immediately close the gap. They advance cautiously, taking turns applying pressure. The lioness must constantly turn to maintain her defensive position, and the situation quickly becomes unfavorable. Just as the danger increases, other members of the lion pride appear and enter the contested area. Both sides close in, using strength and teamwork to gain control of the space. The hyenas retreat briefly, then advance again, demonstrating persistence and clear calculation. After several tense minutes, both sides gradually separate from the combat zone. Neither side can maintain absolute dominance. In the natural environment, the balance of power is constantly shifting depending on numbers and levels of coordination, and every conflict carries real risks. Along Africa's wide rivers, hippos hold a nearly unrivaled position in their waters. An adult typically weighs between 3,000 and over 4,000 pounds, with a massive body and a bite powerful enough to defend their territory. Even at rest, they monitor every movement around them with lightning speed. Late one afternoon, a lioness approached too close to a hippo resting at the water's edge. The distance between the two narrowed to just a few steps. The hippo immediately sensed the lioness's presence and turned its massive body toward her. The lioness took another step to probe. The hippo's reaction was almost instantaneous. With its thousands of pounds of weight, it lunged forward and briefly grabbed the lioness's head. The lioness broke free with all her might and escaped the danger zone without serious injury. Hippopotamuses rarely become prey to lions under normal circumstances. When their resting space is invaded, their size and strength create a clear advantage. This confrontation shows that on the riverbank, the advantage doesn't always lie with the predator. On an open clearing near the edge of the bush, the hyena ultimately secured the majority of the prey. Leopards are renowned for their adaptability, able to hunt alone and drag heavy carcasses up trees to prevent theft. This careful calculation makes each of their decisions highly strategic. When a hyena approached the carcass, the leopard immediately turned and tried to gain control. The two struggled in a tight space, each move aimed at maintaining a favorable position. Pressure increased as the hyena refused to back down and continued to press closer. After a few tense minutes, the hyena used its weight and tenacity to seize the main part of the carcass. The leopard was forced to retreat to the edge of the area. However, just as the hyena was distracted, another leopard appeared and quickly dragged away a portion of the prey. The struggle ended without absolute control belonging to a single individual. In nature, strategy and timing often determine outcomes just as much as strength. The ability to observe and wait for the right moment can change the entire course of events. Amidst the low-lying dry grass, the cobra relies on its ability to sense vibrations and temperature changes to monitor its surroundings. Despite having almost no eyelids and moving very close to the ground, it perceives movement with remarkable accuracy. When approached too closely, its body instantly switches to a defensive posture. The mongoose approaches with short, quick strides. The snake raises its hood, lifts its front body high, and keeps its head still, ready to react. The mongoose continuously moves around, dodging each attack within a very tight space. After many dodges, the snake's reaction speed begins to slow. The mongoose seizes that moment, lunging and biting forcefully at its opponent's head. In just a few seconds, the confrontation is decisively tilted in favor of the smaller animal. The battle ends quickly, but leaves a clear lesson. In nature, speed, reflexes, and timing can compensate for differences in size. The precision of each movement sometimes determines the entire outcome. From the riverbanks of Africa to the forests of North America, every confrontation reflects survival instincts honed over time. Strength, memory, speed, and strategy only prove valuable when used at the right moment. In nature, the one who survives is not just the strongest, but the one who understands its limits.